إن الله يحب الذين يقاتلون في سبيله صفا كأنهم بنيان. What does that remind us of? We're Muslims here in America. The Islamic movement inside of the frightened to silence. Fear pervading the Muslim community. You find the Muslims, especially Saudi Arabia, the richest Muslim Arab country in the world, fighting the poorest world, which is Yemen. You find other countries in the Muslim world who are now beginning to work with the Zionists to begin to have some compassion for the Zionists, who are beginning to have association with the Zionists, who are beginning to hold hands and carry on relationships with the Zionists. You find that control of the political process in North America is controlled by the Zionists. The Zionist forces, the global Zionist movement in the world, is controlling the political in the United States. In Islam and the Zionist forces of the world. So we're here today. We believe that it's our duty, but it's our privilege to stand for Islam against Zionism. We find that there's a silence pervading the Muslims all over North America and many parts of the world. That is a silence based on the fear of Islamic leadership, to take hold of the reins of freedom, to take hold of the reins of justice, and do as the Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna Allah yuhibbul ladina yuqatiluna fi sabilihi saffan ka'annahum bunyanun marsusun. What does that mean? Allah loves the people who fight in Allah's cause as though they were a soldier. So we're here today. We might be out here, it appears that we're alone because we're out in front of one of the biggest and the most used Islamic centers in Northern Virginia. But you find that although we're standing up for the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you'll find that they engineer little mechanisms to make sure that we're not supported. Nobody wants us to be heard from but you. So we appeal to you, the believers, to get with us, to stay with us, to stand with us, to stand with us for the Islamic movement, especially here in North America and all around the world. The Muslims are being butchered and murdered all over the world. And the hadith tell us that we should not fight with those who fight Islam, nor should we turn each other over to the butchers, the anti-Islamic forces, so that those anti-Islamic forces could fight against Islam. So we're out here today. And you know what? We're happy to be out here. We're happy to be out here because it might be a little chilly, but our hearts are not chilly. Our hearts are warm because we're reaching out in support of our Muslim brothers and sisters all over the world who are facing the Zionist butchers and Saudi murderers all alone. And if we have one thing to hold on to, and one thing that we have, it is that we are not doing nothing here in America, but we're not doing less than nothing. We're not doing anything. Just to stand out here is a little chilly, raise your voice, that's nice. But in the Muslim world, our believers, Muslim believers are being killed and murdered. Women and children starved to death today in Afghanistan. They're starving to death because the U.S. leave, and they don't leave food and clothing behind. You know what they leave? Weapons, the latest weapons in the U.S. arsenal to fight against others. That's what they leave there in Afghanistan. They don't leave no money. They don't leave no rice. They don't leave no flour. They don't leave no sugar. They don't even leave coffee behind. And they don't even drink coffee in Afghanistan. They drink tea. And they ain't left none of that behind, right? What does that mean? That means that we have to stand up for Islam and stand against the Zionist butchers and murderers inside of America. So we thank you for recognizing that there is a need in the Muslim world to do kind of like we're doing. If you have to stand up by yourself, go ahead. Who will love you? Those people who are being butchered and murdered. And remember what Allah says, Inna Allaha yuhibbul ladina yuqatiluna fi sabili saffan ka'annahum bunyanun marsusun. Allah loves those who fight in His cause as though they were a solid, cemented structure. We thank you very much for paying attention to it. Look at here. I want y'all to have solidarity and strength out there. Just because the Muslims in your masjid don't even mention Palestine, just because the Muslims in your masjid don't even mention Yemen, just because the Muslims in your masjid don't raise funds for, don't have blankets and food and sending it over there to our Muslims in need, right? And just because the goody two-shoe Muslims are voting for a criminal congressman and senator to solve their problems instead of voting for the Muslims, you and I, to help each other. This is what Allah wants us to do. This is what the Prophet ﷺ wants us to do. And we'll be back for the third act in a short period. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Okay, this is Act 3, dear brothers and sisters, and we're going to be waiting for the crew to come out here. But I want to talk to you a little bit about some concepts. You've all heard of post-traumatic syndrome. That's some trauma that the people have gone through. They used to call it shell shock. They used to call it all kind of names during earlier wars. Now they call it post-traumatic syndrome. That means you have been through, this is after you have been through such a traumatic period in your life that you're lost and you're bewildered and you're disorientated. They have another concept that they call post-traumatic slave disorder, believe it or not. They're saying that Negroes in America been here and that we was treated so bad in slavery that the reason we don't save our money, that the reason we act so crazy nowadays is because this is post-traumatic slavery syndrome. That once you go through this trauma, you're not able to function as a normal, progressive, productive human being, is what they say. Now we're here to talk to you about post-traumatic growth. This is what Islam and this is what our Masjid has been involved in. Post-traumatic growth means that after you have been through a certain trauma, that you grow, you develop, and you evolve from it. And in other words, that process that you went through is not a road to diversion. It's a road, it's a direction to liberation and freedom. So that's what we want to be. We want to be on that ride. Post-traumatic growth. That from the evil, criminal behavior that we have had to go through in America, it's caused us to grow and to evolve. It's not bad. So for us, post-traumatic growth means that the means and the method and the reason for our evolution, our expansion, our development, and our growth is because of what the Zionists and the Americans have done in relation to us here in the United States. Post-traumatic growth. So everybody else run and hide when they have some trauma. We don't run and hide, we run in front of it. We jump right out there and say, come on with it. Why? Does that mean that we're extra courageous? No, that means we're just extra crazy, that's all. Anybody who got any sense wouldn't be doing that. But we're going to do it anyway. And we so crazy that we happy to do this. You know why? Because we think when we read the Quran that it's saying certain things. I just read you one. Inna Allaha yuhibbul ladhina yuqatiluna fi sabilihi saffan ka'annahum bunyanun marsusun. We think that means that Allah is telling us that you should fight in His cause as though you were a solid cemented structure. When we hear the ayats, Subhanallah asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjidi al-haram ila al-masjidi al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlahu li nuriyahu min ayatina innahu huwa as-sami'ul basir. This ayat is always in relation to the Isra and the Miraj. But it talks about al-ul al-Qiblatayn, the first of the two Qiblas that Allah took His servant, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the Masjid, the sacred mosque, to the furthest mosque, whose precincts we did bless. That's the blessed house of Allah, and now you see Zionists wearing boots, going in there beating up and breaking the back and the necks of Muslims right in and around the sacred Masjid in Palestine, in Jerusalem. And a lot of people, this makes them fearful. Oh no, not us. I'm sorry, we're not going to do it. If the other Muslims want to pray their prayers, do their dhikr in circles, but they don't remember Allah and they don't remember the other Muslims, how can we be of the same community when I'm hurting and you don't remember my hurt and pain? When we don't remember the pain and hurt of the Muslims, when we have the richest Arabs in the world slaughtering and murdering and butchering the poorest Arabs in the world, that means that something is wrong with where we coming from. We're not going to be a part of that. So what we're doing out here, we're out here trying to spread the message, trying to raise something for our people, because if you were in Afghanistan now, you would be freezing to death and starving to death, because that's the way the Zionist Americans did you. They want you to starve to death, and they want to break your back. We're not putting up with it. Not here. Absolutely not. If you're in Yemen, they have planes, they're blocking the ports of Haditha and other places where you can't even bring food into Yemen. And they want us to be comfortable here in America while this is happening to our Muslim brothers and sisters. But the Hadith is telling us that each one of us is a brick that supports each other. Now, how are we going to stand here? How are we going to allow our so-called leaders to pontificate an alternate universe or an altered reality that's saying that everything is fine? We don't say it's fine. We say we got work to do. Huh? We got a long way to go. We got a lot of standing up to do. And when you come out of there, everybody, we want you to come over and hook us up. If you do, that's fine. If you don't worry about it. Allah got us covered. Allah been having us covered. You think this is all new? We've been doing this so long. It's automatic. All you got to do is get the Negro and stand him up and prop him up and stick the microphone, and he's going to start running the same story that we have been running for almost 50 years now. So it might have done us some good. Maybe it's not doing others any good. But that means we know that if it's done us all right, then it's good for you too. So dear believers, we want you to get with us, get with yourself, and get with Islam. Allah loves those who fight in His cause as though they were a solid cemented structure. Thank you very much. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم.